Okay, it's all polished up and ready to go. Let's put the top and bottom together, turn them down, and move on to the rest of what we have to do. So, take the top out, put the bottom back in. Remember the little mark I talked about? Right there. Got that all set up. Now, since this is loose fitting and we're going to turn it down, I'm going to put a couple layers of paper towel between it, just like this. And that'll hold it a little tighter for me. We can turn it down the way we want it, and it shouldn't slip. I won't say won't, but shouldn't. Let's see if that's a good picture. Back it up a little bit. There we go. Now, we're going to just turn it down to basically a square shape and then shape the top. I mean, not a square, but a cylinder. We don't have a lot to play with right now, so we'll just take our time. We know that that's the bottom right there, so I think I'll use a skew on this again. Okay. Start shaping the top. Okay, that's pretty good for a rough shape right now. Spin this around and see if we can line up the grain a little bit. I know we took quite a bit of it off, but we can get it pretty close. Yep, that's actually pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is sand it, get it pretty well sanded and polished, and then we'll go to the inside mechanism and the finial. Back in a minute. Okay, got her all polished up. We're gonna take it apart and continue on. There's the top off. Let's lay that to the side for now. Oops, dropped my ruler. So we want to reestablish the bottom again. Make sure we know where it is. That's it right there. We'll put another 1/4 inch on it so that we don't go through the bottom when we trim this. And let's find out where that mark went to again. Clean this up a little bit. Just gonna part it off. We'll clean that up in a minute here. See if we can make a jam chuck for this. That's where we want to go to. Now we want to be careful doing this, that we don't put it on too tight and split it. Okay, now we'll bring the tailstock up again. And see if that holds it tight enough so that we can work the bottom and get the bottom done. Then we won't have to worry about it. So let's get her done. As Larry would say, the cable guy. this a little bit concave so it sits on whatever surface it sits on flat. Try to work the bottom so that it kind of flows right in. Now, I have a couple of spindle gouges I've got real sharp for doing things like this. They're a little hard to control. They sure are nice for getting into little tight spots like this. Now I'll take this down as far as I can. And then I will take believe it or not, the skew and take that little nub the rest of the way off. And there we go. Now, that's just a little plastic button I turned for my center for doing things like that that doesn't poke another hole in there. Now we'll smack that back on and sand it. I'm not gonna have you watch me sanding, so I'll get that done. Okay, that's all polished now. We'll take that off the jam chuck, put the top on it, and there's what it looks like so far. Let me go move the camera. I got a new camera ordered. Hopefully I'll be able to, where'd it go? Come back here, thingy. There it be. Okay. There it is together. The top's got a few cracks on it, but for demonstration purposes, that's okay for now. What we're going to do now is get set up to turn the finial for the top. I found a little piece of, I don't know, little pen blank I had laying around. I'll put that in there. We'll turn the finial for the top, and then we'll make the inside mechanism. Now we're going to make the finial for the top. I hope you can see this. It's got to have a 1/4-inch hole drilled in it, the end straightened up, so we'll get busy doing that. I changed to my other chuck with the pin jaws on it, so I can hold this small piece fairly stable. Okay, let's make it round instead of screwing around and messing everything up. this a little bit concave so it'll fit the lid alright. You need a 1/4-inch hole in the center. And you will see what that's for in a little bit. Okay, let's get our hole ready to drill. I'm going to just use a starting bit so that the hole goes in fairly straight. No, exactly straight, not fairly straight. Bit in. And I don't need to go very deep with a 1/4-inch one. That's probably more than enough right there. So alright, let's start shaping it. We're not going to do anything fancy. How about, let me turn this off while I move the tool roasted as close as I can get it. Well, if all else fails, go to the big one. Now, we're not going to be too fancy with this. It's just going to be a little knob on the top, so let's just take our time and see what we come up with. Okay, we got a little chip out of here. That's going to cause some problems. It's almost too far down now to try and correct that. But This is why you turn a lathe off when you're trying to find that perfect spot for the toe rest. Nothing like getting your toe rest caught in a chuck. It has a tendency to really ruin your day. And your toe rest too. See, I just told you not to do this, and here I am doing it. See if I can get that little chip out of there. Oh, a little bit more. Alright, I'm going to leave that alone for now. Sand it up and polish it, and be back in a minute. Now we find a piece of scrap wood, anything you want, and we'll turn it down to fit inside the bottom. So we want a little under 1 3/8. My fat hand is not in the way. Alright. Round the bottom over. Don't have to be very deep. Okay. You want to go all the way inside without dragging. So okay, that seems reasonable. I don't see any problem with that. Maybe a little bit at the top up here. We'll trim it up. Now, we want to put a 1/4 inch hole in here again. So let's do the same thing. Wondering about all these 1/4 inch holes where there's you can either turn a dowel or just use a plain old wooden dowel to hold this in, and I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. But right now what we need to do is establish an area for the toothpicks to ride. So tiny spindle gouge. Over the edges carefully. Actually, I should move my tool rest, but I'm too lazy to do it, so I'm probably going to mess something up. I quit. Okay, I'm going to do some sanding now and then part this off and show you how it works. Okay, now I'm going to take a 1/4-inch dowel, about an inch or so longer, maybe 2 inches longer than the container. And I'm going to glue it in here with super glue. I'm using a thick now, and there's really nothing now. If you want to, you can take and put your center in there and turn some little beads and stuff on here. I don't want to mess with it right now, but it's up to you guys to do what you want. Okay, that's stuck. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to part this off. I'm not going to worry too much about what the bottom looks like, because nobody will ever see it. Of course, that's not true. I'll worry about it, so I'll probably turn it around, chuck it up in another chuck, and straighten out the bottom on it. We'll see how it comes out. Where's my pencil mark? Up right on the edge. Okay. Okay, here we go. First of all, let's round the bottom over just a taste. Actually, that bottom's not that bad. So I'll straighten it out with a little bit of sandpaper. And we'll move on here in a second. Okay, now we're going to fit it all together. Make sure this slides in and out of here easily with no problem. We'll take and put the top on, slide it down, and then we'll push it down till it's right there, and then maybe just a taste more. Take a pencil, mark the top, probably 1/4 inch or so. That's all you really need. Now you could take a saw, the bandsaw, whatever, and cut it off on there. I've got a little hand saw. Oh, hang on, I'll go cut it off on the bandsaw. Now we'll set that down in there, make sure it fits right. Put the top on, lift it up, put a handful of toothpicks in it without dropping everything on the floor. Now, here's how she works. Take a toothpick out and let it go. Take a toothpick out, let it go. Now all we have to do is glue the top on and we're done with it. Complete. It's got some cracks and stuff on it, but it's a demo piece. Let me turn it off for now and glue everything together.